And there we go again. Reflections on Adami Mogo 93.1 FM. Well, this week, Senator Gbenga, I stumbled on Senator Gbenga Daniel's tweet in which he said that he was pushing for the establishment of a federal college.
I'm not hearing you.
All right, Prof, don't worry. I'm just about introducing you, so I hope it is better now. So, Senator Gbenga Daniel came out to say that he is pushing for the establishment of a federal college of aviation in Ilararemo. And just few days before, the House of Representatives passed for second reading the bill to establish the Federal University of Medical and Health Sciences in Item, Bende, in Abia State. Obviously, if you look as far back as 2021, which was just about 2 years ago, we had about 235 bills, or bills for the establishment of about 235 tertiary institutions. And a lot of people are saying, well, the defense is that if we have more institutions, a lot of the people will drop out of schools and will have to write JAM several times. Well, we would have enough institutions to match that particular number. Well, that is going to be the conversation this morning. We'll be speaking with the chairman of the Academic Staff Union of Universities at the University of Lagos, Professor Kayode Adebayo. Good morning, Prof. It's good to have you join me this morning.
Good morning, Samuel. Good morning. Good morning, there.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, so they call it proliferation of universities, and I'm just of higher institutions, and I'm just going to say, shouldn't quantity matter, especially when you know that you have over 1 million students who want to get in on an annual basis?
So the argument that because of dropouts, because of number of students did not gain admission into universities, number of students that did JAM did not gain admission to university is flawed. It is meaningless. And that does not suggest that we will now have to build university in every local government so that the number of students will increase. As I speak, I'm not sure that the whole Nigerian university has up to 3 million students. The last time in 2022, I think the total, according to NUC, the total number of students in all the Nigerian university then was about 2 million plus. So it is a fallacy that because you want to admit more students into university, that's why you need to start putting university in each local government.
But there are those, the lawmakers seem to have a feeling that if they don't have those institutions, then they can attract the level of development that would help that environment or that local government to grow.
Sam, please, they should stop confusing us. They should just stop confusing us. That is not true. If they are interested in their consultancy project, so be it. That is their interest. They just turn university, they turn it into political issue, they turn it into consultancy project, and because they are not interested, they don't understand the meaning of university. Because they don't know that standard is paramount in the university, they started pushing university into all corners of Nigeria, believing that is how to go. It is wrong, fine. People should tell them no, that is wrong. What we need are, in fact, Sam, if we have only one university in each geopolitical zone with enough capacity, all Nigerian students will get admission.
Are you very sure of that, Prof?
So let us distinguish between political setting up a university or national agenda of bringing education to the people. Yes, I'm not going to argue the fact that, yes, the nearer it is to you, the better, because of other factors. The better, so be it. But then, what about even the infrastructure of the university we are talking about? What about all other factors? Don't let me jump into conclusion. I don't know where you are going. So let's follow the discussion one by one.
So where I am going is now about funding for institutions. Now, since the Bola Tinubu administration came into play, we've seen the proposal for a student loan, which we would definitely come to And, up until recently, I remember that while we were talking, we had decided that we were going to talk about the enlistment of higher institutions or universities as revenue generating institutions that should remit about 40% of their revenue annually, before we then got the news that had been cancelled. Maybe we should go to that. If the president did not cancel that, because we understand that with this government there are times when you have statements and then implementation may also be delayed a bit. So we don't know if this cancellation is outright yet. But if universities had been forced to remit 40% of their revenues, what would be the implication for universities? I'd like you to paint us a graphic picture.
Another funny insinuation. For even anybody to sit down somewhere in ASUU Rock or wherever they sat down to actually start thinking, conceptualizing that university is a revenue generating parastatal. It is my problem. It tells you the kind of mindset of the people that are ruling us. Universities, for crying out loud, are not income generating. And what is the income they are talking about? Because we have a TSA where they see all the payments of students, fee, the student charges, and the rest of them. You want to do laboratory, you don't have regent in the lab. We now resort to the fact that, okay, students, why don't pay a little so that we can buy this regent? This money goes to TSA account. So you now see that, so university is making money. This money, the money the students are paying for them to be able to service those laboratories. Instead of helping the students to have a standard laboratory, students are now paying the money, the charges to have the laboratory themselves. And then you are calling it income generating. It is a serious matter.
All right.
If that thing is not withdrawn, what is going to happen is that they are going to take the money paid by students to run their own program in the laboratories, for example. And then the student will be left with nothing. Or they will now tell the university to start charging 40% of any revenue or whatever, if I can call it revenue, charge it.
All right.
To maintain the university, another 40% to pay to federal government. I don't know what these people sitting down thinking. And they will just come with not just like that, they don't consult the stakeholder. Did they discuss with the university? Do they even understand how the university is trying to survive? So Sam,
Prof.
university is not an income generating unit.
But Prof, for 20 years right about now, we know that funding has been a major complaint of the academic staff union of universities. This time around, we've seen some reasonable increase in some of the other fees that students would have to pay. And we've also seen a president that has now finally said, well, there would be a student loan to assist students to pay some of these fees. First, will this increase, even though you initially kicked against it when UNILAG also increased some of these fees, don't you think that, well, these fees are a bit reflective of the current situation and would help to minimize the complaints about underfunding of universities?
Okay, let me. I'm not going to mention it, but let me cite one university vice chancellor. This obligatory fee is a palliative. A palliative to what is actually required. And if it is what the university actually calculated by themselves, what they need, before the acts are lent, National Assembly, NUC, they have to come in order to reduce and moderate the amount of charges. So it's a palliative. It is not yet there. Okay? So, and why are we here? We are here because the struggle of ASUU, the confrontation of ASUU with government all over the year has been on the fact that telling Nigerians that the federal government is gradually neglecting the university, and the situation is becoming worse and worse every year.
But Prof, should government continue to fund these institutions and then leave the students to simply enjoy those basic benefits? Because even government is saying that, well, students still enjoy those benefits because they don't pay tuition, especially in federal universities.
Yes, as long as they don't pay tuition, that is correct. Tuition has not been included. But where we are going is the tuition. That is the meaning of the so-called education bank. This has been the agenda for years. It is nothing new to us. We know it. Because they want to charge the tuition, and we don't know how much they are coming up with tuition, so that students will go and take loans. And indirectly too, let me also tell you this. Because they are the owner of the so-called private universities, they are looking for money for students to be able to come to their universities.
But are you implying that when we finally have tuition, that public universities will most likely be more expensive than private universities?
Seriously, I don't think education will be at the reach of the common man anymore. Because come, Sam, look, you have a parent that some state government have not passed the bill of 30,000 minimum wage. You have children of parents of this category, and you have them to go and take some loan to go to university. Oh, we are talking about loan to go to university. Who is talking about the job creation? Oh, I will take the loan, and then what happened? So look, we are not serious. We are not serious nation.
Prof,
the resources of this nation is still enough to give education free. And that is it. Why are we not challenging them? What are they doing with the resources we have? Why is it that every time they cannot solve our problem, they push the problem back to us? Sam, they made us to be our own electricity producer, our own water producer. What can they give to us? Sam, we are paying national health insurance. Sam, can you call ambulance where you are seated? Call a national ambulance, a state ambulance where you are seated. What happened to the money we have been paying?
All right, Prof.
Sam, we be paying housing scheme or whatever thing tax they are taking from our salaries for those who are any salary. Where are the housing? Where are the houses they are built with the money? Someone here, let me also remind you, there is a bank of industry in this country.
Yes.
Just as they are trying to create bank of education bank now. There is bank of, where are the industries? We have bank of agri. Where are the mechanized agri farms? Please, they should stop all this rushing us quickly. Once something is not, we need to create this.
Prof, interestingly,
this is for their own benefit. This is for their own benefit. It's not for us.
Interestingly, I spoke with another professor a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about reforms. And I wish I'd been able to call in that particular audio, because what he said completely contrasts with what you have said. He said that Nigerians should no longer expect education to continue to be free. And he cited a particular case. He said it takes roughly $1 million plus per session to train a medical student, and that in public universities you train medical students for free. They graduate, they get into jobs and tell you that they are not well paid, and then dump that institution and then decide to go abroad. And he's saying that, well, so that we won't continue to feel as if the federal government is working in vain, then maybe the federal government should completely allow cost-reflective fees, to be paid at universities, and those who are indigent can then enjoy scholarships, enjoy grants, and enjoy this particular loan. Looking at that submission, are there parts that you think you would agree with or disagree with?
Sam, I'm in total disagreement, because the argument is flawed. It's flawed in the sense that it did not provide any economic analysis of our possibilities and then our constraint. It did not. It did not address, for example, how come we have the comfort that we sit down in the corner of our room, we hear, we read 400 and something billion loss in oil theft, loss to gas flaring, gold mining is not before us. People are just making money out of it. All those things. Let them go and address that.
So, would you expect the public now?
And then we say we have no money. How much are we spending in the presidency? It's not just of recent. We are just saying that this current National Assembly are buying 160 million vehicles for themselves, and then somebody is telling me there's no money. There is no statistical proof that Nigeria has no money.
Interesting submission from Professor Kayode Adebayo. For those who are wondering who I'm speaking with, it's Professor Kayode Adebayo, chairman of the Academic Staff Union of Universities at the University of Lagos, and we've been looking at proliferation of higher institutions in Nigeria as well as funding. So, Prof, this would bring me to the question of for the Education Bank. Personally, I know that ASUU has already made its position clear, but, well, I'd like to hear your own opinion on it. Do you think that maybe it should be reworked in a way, perhaps to make it more, accessible for indigent students, or you want it completely scrapped?
Just scrap it.
Just scrap it.
Nothing. It's going to fail, just like any other bank, any other scheme has failed. And it has failed before. And we have not seen any new condition that this current thinking will survive. There are no improved condition. Come, look, let government go and do the needs to. They should stop pushing problem to the citizen. If you cannot rule, don't ask for the position. Go and work the economy of this nation first. Mm-hmm. And then if we are now seeing that we are doing well in the economy and then things are not, we can then all of us put it together and create a new platform of thinking. The bank, the so-called bank or whatever they call it, is a fraud. It's another way, clever way of putting their people into position. Before you know it, half of the funds they put there, they will use it to buy cars. They will use it to start servicing those people they know. And then the people they think is meant for will never get. Just like you say, you have housing scheme for the poor. Where are the poor having the housing? Sam.
Yes, Prof.
It's a scam.
Prof, interesting. People, you can go and drop your comments on Facebook at Adamimogo931FM. Go drop your comments there while I continue the conversation with Prof. So, Prof, there are those who would accuse you now and saying that you are highly critical of government and a lot of things, but who want to hear outrightly what solutions you would have preferred at sites, because the federal government claims that it is broke and cash-strapped at this moment. So, in line with the current realities, what would you suggest? How would you expect the federal government to fund universities? And then for universities, they also want to know, how are you going to meet government halfway in also providing or perhaps incentivizing some of your own operations?
Sam, you see, the basis, the foundation of every nation in development. We talk about the economy, and the economy also is said will not survive without education. So the problem we even have for now, and I keep on repeating it, why is it that you and I will sit down and watch government wasting the little that we have? The little that we have is if you look at the beginning of this discussion, the little that we have to even develop the university, politicians corner the money. ASUU fought recklessly, suffered. We suggested third fund. Third fund is operating. The purpose of TED fund was for revitalization of university. They come out the money, they started using it to set up new universities. How do you reconcile the fact that somebody is saying that it has no money, and then sit down there passing bill of 66 bill, you are creating 20? Sam, are we fools? You say you don't have money to develop the university that is in existence, but you have the same money to start creating university of water resources, university of medical, university of this, university of transportation, university of whatever you can call it, in every corner of Nigeria. And then that person is convincing you it has no money. I beg your pardon. I beg to disagree. Concentrate the money to the development of the city. Stop the nonsense.
All right, Prof.
Creating university all over the place. First of all, let them do all those things.
All right, but Prof, right now Nigeria has over 109 public universities. I'm interested in, what do you think? Do you think now they should perhaps collapse some of these institutions and merge them into one? We've seen something of such play out in Lagos State, in which some institutions were collapsed into one and then merged to become universities, singular universities. Do you think we should do that with existing universities? Is that something that can work?
Sam, I don't want you to think in that line, because I know the complication. I know the other undertones of taking such move, but you are not collapsing. Maybe we should first of all stop completely. Let's go back to the drawing board. And then we work it out scientifically, not by fears of these politicians that we just wake up in the morning, you just give policy. We go for our own national interest. Let us sit down scientifically and work it out to see whether some of those universities can just become another campus of the main university.
Okay.
Even that has its own implication, because multi-campus universities are very expensive. But then we can still work it out. But we need to work it out scientifically with programs. We must be able to know where are we going in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. We don't have agenda for this university. We are just creating them. If we can, I'm calling them university in quotes. I'm in quotes.
Yeah.
You don't need to visit some of the university. You will cry. Even the old ones, talk less of the new ones. No roads, no good infrastructure, nothing. Let them do that first.
Okay, Prof.
Stop setting. Put a lead. No more new university.
All right.
Now.
All right, Prof. Let's look at the certificate issues in Nigeria. The scandal with the Lagos State University, LASU, has just brought again the conversation around certificates in Nigeria. They say we place a lot of emphasis on certificates in Nigeria, and it should not. They say it should not be so. There are those who are saying that, in fact, this issue of certificates is why we've seen certain people push for polytechnics and colleges of education to be upgraded, and that those institutions have lost their values because their certificate is not as valued as those of the universities. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think that Nigerians need a reorientation of some sort, or we are far too gone and simply need to just, take things as they are at the moment?
Thank you again. You see, this is another area of our national tragedy. Yes, we will say that people don't need certificate. But do I need certificate and get the certificate through fraud? There are two different things. So because we have pushed ourselves to the world that the average Nigerian think fraudulently. People call it economic hardship and there are a lot to it. So getting a certificate by fraud is in some quarters, it's normal for them. And there are people who we sell, there are people who we buy. That is one aspect. But again, you ask about the polytechnic and the rest of them.
Yes.
Don't forget, you and I grew up when we were young in this university. You see, students of Polytechnic is a respected student. There was a national agenda. In fact, the first higher institution, if I'm not mistaken, was Yabatek. So look, the agenda of Polytechnic was to produce manpower to support our technological aspect of life. All of a sudden, Polytechnic started studying business administration, economics. Why? Because the rush for them for survival, funding, and then loss of the main objective of setting them down. The government that started it lost interest. So the Polytechnic are there on their own. But the same government is still paying salary and the rest of them. They are not interested in the product of what they set up. So if we have done it properly, the Polytechnic and the university, they have their own role to play in the national development agenda. But we got it wrong. Don't forget, you and I, our technical colleges, fine ones, with equipment. We thought we were going to industrialize. We lost it too. So as we speak, Sam, the question we shouldn't be asking, what is the purpose or what are the purposes of education at all in Nigeria? What does government understand as somebody being educated in Nigeria? I think to me they don't care. And that's why they quickly go to Harvard, go to Stanford, go to UK university to take pictures with their children graduating, post and show us on Facebook everywhere. People in government.
Prof, do you fear that Nigerian universities are quickly losing their value, and that in the long run you may not even have the kind of quality and bright students that should populate such universities? Because, like you have just mentioned, we are seeing not just children of the rich, but a lot of people who now are involved in the craze to go outside of Nigeria and study in foreign universities. They feel that having degrees or certificates from foreign universities is even more attractive in Nigeria than having a Nigerian certificate.
You are correct, Sam. I've seen advert for work for job placement, which specifically, specify that look, the preference will be those who have certificates outside Nigeria, from UK university, American university. Advertisement in this nation. Now, you are right. And my say is that perhaps that agenda of making sure that the Nigerian university becomes so useless, and I don't know why they like that, at least the public university becomes so useless. Perhaps I'm thinking, could that be the reason why they are creating the university all over? And they don't care about developing or improving on the one that we had before. In this same nation, University of Ibadan, Ife, Nsukka, Lagos, Amadu Bello, these are universities of what standard? But gradually, this government sit down there and comes down. After all, they are the one who came and took over all the universities. Sit down there without having any agenda of what they want the university to do for them. If not for us, struggle all over the years. All the things we even talk about, all the remnants of any good thing you can see in all those public universities, would have since been in extinction.
So, Prof, what is the way out? Yes, you have said we should cancel certain things. We should, but really, as it stands, especially pertaining to the last question that I asked, what is the way out for a lot of other people that are listening out here? Is it government's sole responsibility? Does it mean that people need to start talking? Because sometimes it looks like when ASUU talks, people generally feel that it is simply about their own benefits, about the salaries, about the allowances, and not about some of these key issues. What is ASUU doing about it? How do you intend to get people on your side to understand this, and also get government on your side to also make amends where necessary?
You know the funny thing. I think people those who want to be mischievous. Do you know how many calls we are receiving? When the university started by saying they want to start charging obligatory fee, my phone was my phone was like, I should switch it off. Come and help us. Government want to kill us. How are we going to get this money? Even the 40% you talk about.
Yes.
They started having university vice chancellor calling the ASUU chairman to come and help them. As if ASUU is a bulldog to go and fight government. ASUU doesn't fight government. We are only making proclamation about what we think scientifically, and we work on it. We don't just make it. We are not noise makers. And you go and check it out. All the things that ASUU have said about education, tell me the one that has not come into fulfillment. We talk because we believe that, look, they said they didn't have money. By the time we suggested what they can do and raise money, which it is now present threshold, what did the government do to it? Government turned it to their own political outfit again, and to me, the money spent in threshold is not coordinated. So if you ask me the way forward, the way I'm thinking that even what we have not even utilized much to its optimum. Talk less of even let us create a new thing. The one we have, what have we done with them? So, look, as far as I'm concerned, there's still money in the system. Right. The Nigerian student, the average Nigerian student can still enjoy free education. And don't forget, don't compare our own education need to American education need. We are still at the embryo of education. That is the truth. Notwithstanding that we have university in this nation since the early 60s, we are still at the embryo of education. We have not even tapped into the usefulness of education. So to me, government still have the responsibility. And I'm saying it because I'm convinced that the resources are there. It is the duty of government to go and tap into those resources and create wealth. Government cannot, because of their own laziness, pass the bill to us. We are paying enough bill.
Right.
And we are good citizens. We are doing a lot. But unfortunately, it's like we are even doing the worst to ourselves by not asking questions. We have the money. And we see how government lives. We see how the government officials live. In this same nation, we have governors that are getting life pension because he served for 8 years or so, or 4 years. He came to National Assembly, he's getting another money. This same nation, public money, to one single individual, from same public purse, twice, and we are not talking, and we are saying we don't have money. Sam, I beg. Let's do the needful first.
Okay, well, let's take, I think, 2 or 3 calls before I let Prof go this. I like to think that there are those who would want to obviously ask you that in 1 minute, the Nigerian universities, federal universities, are not even as expensive as those in surrounding or neighboring countries, but Nigerians prefer to go there. And even though right now we may see an increase in fees, Nigerians will keep sending their children to universities in Benin Republic or in Ghana. Does it mean, what does this mean exactly for the people? Isn't that a pointer to government that, well, it looks like people would pay as long as they feel that it is good enough?
That's a dangerous thinking. People will pay in as much as it's good enough. It's also not it's not absolutely correct. But don't let us go into all those analysis now. But why would person not go to Benin Republic when one ASUU we engage in government most of the time to fund this university so that we retain our own people here? Why should we allow that capital flight from here to Benin Republic, for example, to Ghana, for example? Why are they doing that? The reason is simple. One, the government of Nigeria has refused to even make the university here attractive. Look, you don't need to go too far. Enter into 2 or 3 universities, despite all the fight of ASUU and federal government. The little that you will see there, I see the fight of ASUU. Government has abandoned the university. People want to go to school. That is simple. And some of the family will go and look for the money, they borrow and they go to Benin Republic. I cannot control that. It's happening. But it's happening because people would have loved to enjoy what they have in their own country. But when you don't make the place conducive, it's just the same thing you are asking question, Japa syndrome. Why should somebody resign as a bank manager in Nigeria and then go and start all over doing all sorts of jobs in UK?
Prof, in just 10 seconds, just exactly 10 seconds, because I have to leave the studio now. People need to hold government accountable, and they will be looking at NLC and looking at ASUU as frontliners in this era. How exactly do you expect them to, or what exactly do you expect them to do in holding government accountable at all levels?
As far as we are concerned in ASUU, we are doing that. And we are constantly doing that. And we are not going to relent until we get results. That is it. So, and I think the same thing NSC should wake up. The NSC should just, step down their political. We are talking about people's struggle. When you put politics into it, it becomes flawed. So let us face what is confronting us in the nation and hold those people who are representing us, who we have voted for, who we have, according to Baba Obasanjo, kind of give our destiny into their hands.
All right.
Do the needful for us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Kayode Adebayo, Chairman of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, University of Lagos. That's the bit we can take on reflections this morning. Thank you, Mr. Femi Oni, for joining me in the studio. All right, definitely. I'll be back on Monday on the follow-up at 10 o'clock. Don't miss that. Good morning.